Women and
Damn.
women only. This tweet right here. This woman was looking for some advice. Women and women only. Do you want to be a stepmom? Why or why not? If you're already a stepmom, was it something you already wanted to do or no? If you used to be a stepmom, would you do it again? She says she wants people to explain their experiences so she can get information and know what to do. Any stepmamas out
I
there
haven't ever been a
that can
stepmom.
advise her? What was your
Ooh,
stepmom
I'm
experience
not
like?
gonna sit here and say I would choose the experience, but if I end up with a guy that has children, then that's what it is. But I'm not gonna choose to, it's not something that I'm gonna go towards. And the only
Yeah,
reason
nice.
is because I see my friends go through it and it's a difficult position.
Yeah,
It is a
yeah,
very
difficult.
defeating position at times. It's a lot of things
Mm,
that you got to go through to
no
get to a
doubt.
comfortable place. So I'm
Okay.
not going to say that I would choose it, but if I end up with a man that has kids, that's what I choose. So, but I'm
Stepmom.
not going to choose to be one. I'm not here like where the daddies at? I ain't
Where the
doing
Dilf said.
that. Where the deal said,
I
yeah,
seen this tweet that said there's no such thing as a
lies.
Dilf.
There are lots of deals.
She said nobody wants niggas with kids. I
What's
was
the
like,
thing?
damn.
Well,
What's the deal?
I was
a
like,
dad I
what?
like to
Oh,
fuck.
No
Yeah, I was.
You can fuck
thanks.
I
them,
was
but you
like,
don't have
damn.
to, go forward
The
after
dad part does nothing for me.
Wow.
yeah.
Shay Shay said, I will be a
Okay.
stepmom only if he knows they're
Mm.
his for sure. That's a good one because there's a lot of people playing stepmom
What's
and
the
that baby
difference?
ain't
Hey,
here.
what?
Wow.
Wait a
Like a
minute.
Buck said, I was a stepmom at
Hold
one
it.
point, and it can work if all three adults are
And
Can
that's
mature.
we get a
what,
rewind one time for the one time?
what's the rewind?
Yeah.
Why does it matter
Uh,
if the kid, if it's his or not? It ain't yours.
Well, because some
Because
men are
financial
still,
things are tied into that as well.
right. And some men, like, say they were with a woman and that wasn't his baby, but he feels like that's his child.
Because
Uh-huh.
he's
They
been
still
around
take
the
on
whole
that
time.
responsibility once they leave the woman. So asking another
you know
woman
what
to
they?
be the stepchild, that's a lot. Like, they ain't your baby. And you
You
got me
you
But
going
he
know
already
through.
signed up
you
for it,
know what they
so
That's
really
it's
true.
said.
his.
So
Anything.
that's Shay Shay's
But
thing.
why
Like
would
if
that
it's not your
change if
baby,
you
then
just found out after the fact that it ain't even his? But
because he's still requiring you to care for a baby that's not biologically his.
But then he already emotionally attached to the baby, and the
And
baby,
that's
Exactly.
but the
fine.
baby is not at fault. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
the
Right.
baby's
No,
Yeah.
not at fault.
it ain't about the baby. It's about the clarification of what I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Got
And
you.
if I say I'm not
I
okay
mean, I
with
get it, but
you giving financial and emotional and time commitment resources to a child that's not even yours, that's my choice.
Because then at that point you feel like he's really not in a relationship with the child's mother.
Or
Nah,
the
it ain't even
child,
that.
or just the child
it's just
beyond
who
the
the fuck
requirements of what it
daddy
is,
is this?
and
Who child is this?
it may be taking
Yeah.
something away from what I would want
I
or
Or,
think
or
that
from
require.
y'all's child in the
Yeah.
future.
this
Yeah.
is why I think people with children should date people with children because of the understanding. I always felt like women who didn't have children, like for me, just from my perspective, lacked a certain understanding as far as like your
100%.
your time, how you able to divide your time.
Mhm.
So a single woman with no kids tends to, not all the time, will
Understand.
look at anything that you give time to as something that's less
Mo-
time for her.
Yep.
So
Yes.
these things compete with each other. So your child,
An
instead of it looking
immature
at like
woman.
your child as a like a addition to the relationship, it's really just something in their eyes that's like a subtraction of their time. You know
And
what
you
I'm
know what I
saying?
should say? I
So
think it's going to be how you include the woman. Like if you're
Yep.
always excluding her and she can't do
mm.
anything at all and she's always on the back burner for
Then
everything,
that's gonna
that's a
make a
problem.
difference.
Oh well,
So
that makes
like
a big difference.
include
Yeah,
her in it.
if
And so
everything you do with your children she can't be a
yeah.
part of, then yes,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot
I
less
think
time that
that's
you
where
have
you
for
would
her.
run into that. But if you're including that woman in it and she know you're serious and
Yep.
she's able to spend time with you, not all the time, but
Well,
just
it take
including
time
her
to get to that
sometimes.
point for
They
me.
sure
'Cause
do.
I
I mean,
Oh,
it
just
That's
does.
the obstacle.
Absolutely.
That's always the
But
obstacle.
once you get there, you can't then compartmentalize and set her to the side
oh
and
well,
keep
yeah.
things
Definitely.
and be like,
separate.
I'm with
Once
my
I
you
agree
kids,
with y'all
then
too.
it's gonna be a
introduced her to
problem.
your child, then it's it shouldn't
When
be a
do y'all feel
problem.
like the child should be introduced to a partner?
When
Mm,
I
And what
can't
is
feel,
there a
speak on it.
time?
when
Oh, you
Is
I
there a
said
feel,
time?
Can't speak on it. I ain't got
listen.
no kids. I don't know the rules.
I,
I
f-
don't
I
know what
feel
that
like I
feels
feel
like.
like
I've felt at it and it caused my children some hurt before. So for me personally, I wouldn't even I can't even tell somebody a certain time frame because even when
because
you
it ain't
think
no
you're
time
sure,
frame. It's just whenever you
you can
feel
be
the
sure
time is right.
and the other person can leave at any time. So
Right.
it's like just whatever you're willing to make sure the person is worth, a
Going
potential
there. If I know you
bad
here
outcome.
heartbreak.
and you got
Yeah,
my best
potential
interest
heartbreak.
in
Yeah.
mind, and you've shown me that you plan to be here, for the foreseeable future. That's when I do it. But I ain't met that person yet.
I feel like I don't have any
I
kids
feel you.
myself either, but I feel like it would be a situation where, I will talk to this person, let them know how serious this is for me. But I'll also, hopefully, I can talk to my child, let my child know like there's somebody I'm getting to know. Hope they be around for a long time, but they may not. I will always be here so that when my child meet this person, they don't get too attached. They'll be like, okay, this is somebody that my dad is getting to know and I'll get to know them too.
That's a good
But
way
it's
to
a
approach it.
possibility that they will be gone sometime, but my dad will never leave me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
that way, if something happens and the person leaves, it's like, oh, we still
Not
have
a
each
big of a
other.
Giving the necessary
Yeah,
assurances
just like
that things are still
a
stable.
possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Regardless.
As opposed to
Yeah.
making it seem like we're gonna be a happy family together forever, and things go left, and now you have to figure out how you gonna process this because you're not prepared for that emotional detachment from somebody. So yeah.
Because when
Yeah.
you're dating, you gotta prepare for people.
Yeah, you never know.
going.
But as an adult, you'll be like, "Oh, it didn't work out. Fuck it." But when you have a child involved, it's
You
like,
have to be
"Damn,
strategic in how
bitch.
you
Man,
present
Had I
things.
known you was gonna pull that bullshit, I would have fucked with
it's
your
been
ass."
serious. I wouldn't have let you be doing my daughter's hair and taking her to justice and all that other shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
right.
yeah, that's big facts. Big facts. I agree with y'all. Let me see.
That
We
was a
got
good
some more.
question. Come on now.
Yeah, she had a good question.
Do he get the snaps for it? He get the clap? What he get?
Get a little applause.
whatever you pull up first.
Boo.
Boy, if you don't get
That's what I'm talking about. I know it was coming. I knew it was
Listen,